Citoyens avant de pouvoir recevoir le vaccin.
Le vaccin est là pour nous sauver.
Vous n'avez pas besoin de montrer votre citoyenneté ou votre statut d'immigrant. Pour vous faire vacciner, on vous a peut-être demandé de fournir une carte d'identité, mais vous n'êtes pas obligé de la fournir si vous ne l'avez pas.
Il est là pour nous protéger.
Si vous ne l'avez pas, la seule règle est d'avoir 12 ans ou plus.
Le vaccin est là pour nous sauver. Il est là pour nous protéger. Prenons le vaccin, c'est le seul remède du moment. Évitons les regroupements et portons nos masques.
Est-ce que waga maret ek jangi pengu fan coronavirus yaga feka fogi mena sate fane I waga reto jangi feka fogi romaga o jiga nga ID card waga reto jangi pengu fane coronavirus fane o jiga nga tami waga ret kata fek o jek hit harba hay fanay o jega ngira wagino jang pengu fane coronavirus arefare jir la andonay anaka waraki jufi o jangi pengu fane coronavirus o ar hohof ar family of ar fop njo konjal
Yet another very important milestone in the development.
خلق من شر غاسق إذا وقب ومن شر النفاثات
The head of WAPI's program in the Gambia, Mr. Richard Godwin, he's here in our midst. You're welcome here, sir. We also have the Western ECOWAS representative. She's here also present in our midst. You're welcome in our midst, ma'am. We also have the Inspector General of the Gambia Police Force, Mr. Abdullah Sanyang, in our midst. Sir, you are welcome, sir. Also, we have the Honorable Minister of Interior of the Republic of the Gambia in our midst. Sir, you are welcome. Equally, we have representatives from other development partners, as well as the ambassador of the EU and various partners of the Gambia Police Force and service chiefs of the Gambia, including the Drug Law Enforcement Agency. We also have the Immigration, the Fire and Rescue Service, the Gambia Prison Department, the Gambia Armed Forces, and all protocols duly observed. Thank you all so much, and good morning to this very important gathering. At this point in time, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we will not waste time, but go straight to the program that we have, and that is to have the Honorable Inspector General of Police to do a welcoming remark at this very important gathering. Inspector General of Police, sir, you are welcome, sir.
With utmost delight, I would like to acknowledge the presence of representatives of the Minister of Finance, representative of the Minister of Justice, the Attorney General, representative of the CDS, representative of the Director of National EU, and the representative of the ECOWAS Commission and the Interpol. I want to welcome you to this very important gathering this morning for the opening or the inauguration ceremony of WAPI's program. Honorable Minister of Interior, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, WAPI's this system provides a platform for electronic management sharing of information on crime and offenses among actors both locally and internationally. The Gambia joined the WAPI's program in 2017. Since then, a lot of collaborative efforts have been made ranging from the development of relevant frameworks and regulations, staffing and staff training, allocation of office complex, etc. were among the key steps taken to establish this very center we are about to inaugurate. Honorable Interior Minister, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the importance of WAPI's program cannot be overemphasized. The system will not only make effective networking with the national actors on crime management possible, but also connect us with other law enforcement institutions, participating countries within the region and beyond, through the Interpol global communication system, overall allowing effective and efficient coordination and collaboration among stakeholders to combat especially the trans-organized national crime. I think it's better, it's very hot there. Honorable Minister of Interior, Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the current security challenges are no doubt rising and worsening by widespread cyber threats, terrorism, trafficking of drugs, human beings, to name but a few. This stress cannot be combated in isolation, rather through joint concerted effort. That's why it is my strongest conviction that innovation, synergy, and collaboration which this system will facilitate among other actors are key way forward. Therefore, the implementation of this system, without a doubt, very important and timely, especially in the view of the logistical, legal constraints and other technical limitations. Fortunately, Honorable Minister, Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the anticipated dividends of this system fall within my strategic core priorities as the Inspector General Police of the Gambia Police Force. That is, enhancing collaboration among local and of crime, especially transnational crimes. Hence, the effective functioning of the system is high among my priorities too, for the Gambia Police Force and all other partners. I want to assure you our unwavering commitment in this regard. Honorable Minister of Interior, Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is important to note that the implementation of this project in the Gambia has been as a result of strong collaborative efforts of the stakeholders both in the Gambia and outside the Gambia since 2007. I will therefore want to particularly thank the EU for the funding the project and equally Interpol for the implementation of this very important project. We wouldn't have reached this far on this implementation of this system without the commitment, support of our local partners. Therefore, thank you very much, my colleague service chiefs, for your support and collaboration. Gentlemen, I want to singularly thank the Honorable Minister of Interior and his staff for their strategic support throughout the implementation of this project. Similarly, I want to extend my deepest gratitude to the Attorney General, the Honorable Minister of Justice, and his staff especially for their support and development of this legal framework for this project in the Gambia. I want to chase this opportunity to also acknowledge my appreciation to my colleagues, the service chiefs, my co-management, and the entire staff of the Gambia Police Force, particularly Mr. Pate Jao, Commissioner. Honorable Minister, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, on this note, it is my greatest pleasure to thank you all and once again welcome you to this inauguration. Thank you.
The Inspector General of Police. Very important for us to note, as he mentioned, that collaboration, synergy, and information sharing will be enhanced more than ever before with the coming of the West African Police Information System in the Gambia, WAPIS. Thank you so much to the Inspector General of Police. At this point in time, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we announce to you the scheduling of a very important meeting which is going to take place at 2:30 at the Ministry of Interior, which is the WANACO meeting, and members of the WANACO committee will be attending this meeting that will be chaired by the Honorable Minister of Interior as the head of the WAPIS program in the Gambia. Away from that, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, at this point in time, we will now call on the Interpol, the head of the Interpol, to also deliver his statement at this very important inauguration ceremony. Mr. Richard Godwin, he is going to deliver his statement on behalf of the Interpol and WAPIS. Thank you so much and you're welcome, sir.
Honorable Minister of Interior of the Republic of the Gambia, Your Excellency, the Ambassador of the EU delegation in Banjul, Your Excellency, the ECOWAS Special Representative to the Gambia, Inspector General of the Gambia Police Force, heads of law enforcement agency present, representatives from EU member states, representatives from ECOWAS member states, dear colleagues, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Interpol Secretary General, I have the pleasure to welcome you all and to thank you for honoring our invitation amid your busy schedules to attend the inauguration ceremony of the West African Police Information System, WAPIS Banjul, Data Collection and Registration Center hosted here at the Joint Operations Center. Ladies and gentlemen, we have come a long way in the implementation of the WAPIS program in West Africa. It all started in September 2012 during the West African Police Committee General Assembly meeting held in Abidjan, where the program was launched, beginning with 4 pilot countries. However, in 2017, the program was rolled over to all the countries in West Africa, including the Gambia. Since then, the Gambian authorities have worked so hard within the framework of WAPIS implementation in the country and have met all the requirements necessary for the continuity of implementation of the program, starting with the signing of the MOU by the Honorable Minister of Interior with Interpol on the implementation of the WAPIS program in the Gambia, to the appointment of the single point of contact, alongside with the legal and IT experts, the allocation of office space, deployment of personnel, enactment of WAPIS legal text, and the signing of the I-24/7 extension. Let me congratulate the Gambian authorities for this job well done. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, in order to complement the effort of the Gambia, Interpol has deployed 40 workstations in the greater Banjul area to the Immigration Department, the Drug Law Enforcement Agency of the Gambia, and the Gambia Police Force. Conducted 6 training sessions for 72 law enforcement personnel on the use of the system and trained the trainers. We have also set up the Data Collection and Research Center here at the Joint Operations Center, which we are inaugurating today. The aim of the WAPIS program is to support the Gambian Law Enforcement Agency in the collection, storage, analysis, and sharing of electronic criminal data among themselves with the ultimate goal of combating all forms of crime. The program will reinforce the capacity of the security forces in the Gambia in dealing with all forms of violent crimes in the country, at the same time be able to collaborate with other law enforcement agencies outside the Gambia, in West Africa region, and with the rest of the world community of law enforcement agencies. We will increase the number of WAPIS workstations, both in the WAPIS Center and in the world network of police stations in the country, in order to use it at its maximal potential. Another action envisaged by the program is the connection of the WAPIS system to the Interpol I-24/7 Secure Global Police Communication. The link will allow Gambian police officers working with the WAPIS system to check in real-time worldwide police data hosted by Interpol. In a second step, we will work with you to implement the adequate processes or mechanism necessary for the sharing of data. You will decide. I insist on that. You will decide. Thus increasing the international cooperation capacities of the country. It is in our agenda to proceed on this connection in the shortest possible time. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, the intention of the European Union, Interpol, and ECOWAS is to have a durable and a viable WAPIS system that will stand the test of time. For us to accomplish this objective, the Gambian authorities are required to set aside a budget line for the sustainability of the system after the implementation phase. Ensure that personnel trained to use the WAPIS system remain in post at least for 3 years. Encourage the WAPIS user to populate the system with criminal data, and finally, make the WAPIS system a tool for everyday work, for investigation, for control, including control at the borders. The management is not left out. The statistic generated by the WAPIS system will be a strong tool to outline your next strategies against all the threats your country is facing. Ladies and gentlemen, the success recorded in the Gambia would not have been accomplished without deliberate efforts made by all the stakeholders. Therefore, let me, on behalf of Interpol, thank the European Union for approving 100% funding for the implementation of the WAPIS program in West Africa. Thank you, European Union. Your Excellency, without the political support from the ECOWAS Commission, I must say here that it would have been very difficult, if not possible, to implement the WAPIS program in the region. Therefore, let me thank the ECOWAS Commission for always standing by Interpol on the implementation of this program. Please permit me to express my profound gratitude to the Honorable Minister of Interior for the leadership demonstrated within the implementation of the program in the Gambia. Let me also express our sincere thanks and appreciation to the Inspector General of the Gambia Police Force and his management team and all the participating law enforcement agency here present for your resilience, commitment, and sacrifice you are making every day to ensure the successful implementation of this program in the Gambia. I thank you all.
Gambia has fulfilled all the requirements for the establishment and implementation of this project, thanks to the funding of the European Union. And that's why we are elated by the presence of the European Union and the ambassador of the EU. At this point in time, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I want to take this opportunity to call on a representative of the EU to also deliver a statement. And this will be the ambassador of the EU in the Gambia. You're welcome, sir.
Minister of Interior, permanent secretaries of the Minister of Interior, high-level officials, representative of the European Union member states, resident representative of the ECOWAS, service chiefs, head of the Interpol delegation, members of the press and media, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests. Organized crime and terrorism know no border. It is essential for law enforcement authorities around the world to be able to know quickly if an individual is wanted by another ECOWAS country, or quickly determine if an ID document, a vehicle, or a firearm is reported as stolen or associated to a crime by police in another ECOWAS country. The Western African Police Information System, WAPIS, program aims at responding to some of the security challenges faced by the West African countries. In 2010, West Africa Chiefs of Police put forward what became the West African Police Information System, which was funded by the European Union and implemented by Interpol. Access to investigative data often means the difference between solving a case and watching it go cold. By allowing an effective collect of police information, thanks to a centralized national system, and by offering the possibility of sharing the information collected at national, regional, and international level, can provide a tremendous advantage and full, more thorough investigation, and ultimately more justice. Many developments have happened in this project. The DACOR, the system, and the WANACO regulation were drafted by national experts supported by WAPI's program experts, and the texts were adopted in July 2021 by the Ministry of Interior. With the support of the program, the country was also able to gazette the ECOWAS Supplementary Act on Data Protection. Equipment has been deployed and set up in the Greater Banjul law enforcement agencies, police, and DLEA, immigration, and trained user began police data recording. In total, 5 training sessions were organized, including 2 conducted by country national trainers. 56 staff members, including 12 women, have been trained, and 30 workstations have been deployed and installed in the Banjul area. And what we come together today to celebrate is through the support of the WAPI's program, the renovation of DACOR was launched and is now completed. In this regards, I wish to express gratitude to the Gambian authorities who have shown excellent arrangement towards the successful implementation of WAPI's program. We encourage local authorities to take a stand and ensure that this program receives the necessary attention. The WAPI's database can truly help to improve the security situation in the Gambia and should be a priority of the national security strategy. We would like to encourage the authorities to take steps to ensure that personnel trained to use WAPIS remain in post for at least 3 years, make the use of WAPIS mandatory so that it is quickly adopted nationwide, allocate a budget heading for running the DACOR and the WAPIS system by the start of 2022 at the latest. And finally, implement a communication plan in order to cultivate the national buy-in and sustainability of the system. By allowing more information to the shared and accessed by law enforcement agencies throughout the region regional WAPIS system strengthened police cooperation within the ECOWAS region. Statistics produced by the use of the system could contribute to the future development of strategic analysis of crime trends affecting the region. Supporting ECOWAS member states, the ECOWAS Commission in the development of more efficient anti-crime strategies. We Europeans believe that regional integration can be an incredible, powerful driver of peace. The EU stands ready to continue supporting these processes. We would like to express our appreciation to all the partners involved in this EU-funded project, in particular the GPU and DCAF, for working relentlessly on the Gambia. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you so much. With the continuous support of the European Union, the WAPIS system will continue not only enhancing collaboration between local security within the country, but also internationally across the West African sub-region and the world at large. At this point in time, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the Gambia is part of ECOWAS, and that is also one very important reason why the Gambia has been chosen as a country where the WAPIS system has been established. And thanks to the contribution of the ECOWAS, today we are here inaugurating the WAPIS system. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, at this point in time, I would like to call on the ECOWAS representative to also deliver a statement at this inauguration ceremony. You're welcome. Thank you so much. With the continuous support of the European Union, the WAPIS system will continue not only enhancing collaboration between local security within the country, but also internationally across the West African sub-region and the world at large. At this point in time, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, The Gambia is part of ECOWAS, and that is also one very important reason why the Gambia has been chosen as a country where the WAPIS system has been established. And thanks to the contribution of the ECOWAS, today we are here inaugurating the WAPIS system. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, at this point in time, I would like to call on the ECOWAS representative to also deliver a statement at this inauguration ceremony. You're welcome.
This environment, let me start by recognizing the chairman of this meeting, the Honorable Minister of Interior, the representative of the Attorney General and Minister of Justice, representative of the Honorable Minister of Finance and Economic Affairs, the Inspector General, High Commissioners of Nigeria, Sierra Leone, and Senegal, the head of the EU delegation in the Gambia and other representatives of EU member states present, government functionaries present, the head of Interpol and representatives of Interpol, members of the media, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. It gives me the great pleasure to extend to you all warmest greetings from ECOWAS Commission in Abuja, Nigeria, and the ECOWAS Permanent Mission in the Gambia. On behalf of the President of the ECOWAS Commission, His Excellency Dr. Jean-Claude Cassibro, and the Commissioner of Political Affairs, Peace and Security, General Francis Benhazin, I wish to express my profound thanks and appreciation to the people and government of Gambia for providing the premises to host the WAPIS Center. Having a prominent structure of this nature to host the WAPIS program is a significant milestone in the operationalization of the program. And we would like to say thank you to the Gambia government for doing that again, because Gambia, I must admit, is very supportive when it comes to her side of the contribution. When it comes to headquarters agreement and everything, Gambia, as little as they are, they always try to do what they need to do. So we encourage you, Gambia, we say thank you for that support. Without doubt, this is a significant step in the right direction as the police in West Africa are trying to move entirely from analog to digital system of technology to facilitate the collection, analysis, management, and dissemination of police information for the utilization of national law enforcement agencies, including the police, the immigration, the drug law enforcement agency, prisons, customs, and the Gambian Revenue Authority through the National WAPIS electronic system. This facilitates the speedy sharing of information thereby strengthening the role of the police in democratic consolidation, security, and stability in the Gambia. For these reasons and more, I deem it a great honor and privilege to be here this morning to participate in the inauguration ceremony of this new center. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, you may agree with me that the unprecedented outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic has adversely affected the implementation of the WAPIS program, as Interpol could not accomplish some of the planned activities within the stipulated time due to travel restrictions in our region. However, with great commitment on the part of Interpol and the government, we are grateful that the project has come to fruition. I would therefore like to thank Interpol for leading the efforts of ECOWAS to support the government of the Gambia in implementing this laudable initiative. In addition, I must commend the Inspector General of Police and his team for their collaborative efforts in ensuring that this project becomes a reality. Crime fighting has reached unprecedented levels of complexity, which requires new strategies to protect the people. So these collaborative efforts of relevant stakeholders will contribute tremendously to fighting crime, which will eventually lead to a peaceful environment as the country prepares to conduct presidential elections in December this year. Today's event is a significant milestone in the operationalization of the WAPIS program in the Gambia. It is against this backdrop that I'm here this morning to reiterate the commitment of ECOWAS in continuing to collaborate with the government of the Gambia, European Union, Interpol, and other stakeholders to ensure that the program remains successful and sustainable. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, as I stated in my remarks during the opening ceremony of the training last month, I underscore that the overarching objective of the WAPIS program is to build the capacity of the law enforcement agencies in our ECOWAS member states through the creation of electronic criminal databases with the aim of sharing such data in real time at national, regional, and global levels. Today, the WAPIS program has gained momentum and will continue to receive support.
coronavirus. Kon génn leen ngeen dem jël peegu coronavirus.
During the opening ceremony of the training last month, I underscore that the overarching objective of the WAPIS program is to build the capacity of the law enforcement agencies in our ECOWAS member states through the creation of electronic criminal databases with the aim of sharing such data in real time at national, regional, and global levels. Today, the WAPIS program has gained momentum and will continue to receive support from partners. We would like to say a big thank you to all of those partners, including the EU, that have made this possible. I'm of a firm conviction that with this facility, the Gambia Police will now make maximum utilization of relevant qualitative and quantitative data to effectively and efficiently address the fundamental issues that undermine human security in the country. As you will all be aware, no nation thrives in prosperity and development with the absence of peace, security, and stability. Together, we can collaborate to make a safer Gambia, a safer home for the people, and a more secure future for all of us, especially within the sub-region and at the global level. When there is no peace and security, you cannot engage and promote development for the people. In conclusion, I would like to thank those who, despite their busy schedules, and knowing that they had to come and sit in this heat, have come to grace this inauguration. We thank you for bearing with us, and we hope that you have a successful program and wish you all the best from ECOWAS.
No doubt contribute to enhancing collaboration and partnership between states of West Africa. But not only that, but also will enhance collaboration and information sharing between national security services. Thank you so much to the ECOWAS for the very important contribution towards the successful implementation, and thanks the reason why we are here today inaugurating the Gambia WAPIS system. At this point in time, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I will now take the singular honor to call on the Honorable Minister of Interior, who is also the chairman of the WAPIS committee in the Gambia, to deliver his opening statement. Sir, you are welcome.
It's the guards! Into the guard! So! Center! Stand fast! The remaining guards! Into the guard! Yes! Yes!
That marks the end of the quarter guard salute and the arrival of the Honorable.
Again, thank you, Master of Ceremony. Honorable Representative of Cabinet Ministers here, particularly Minister of Finance and Justice, the Inspector General of Police, Director General of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, representative of the SIS, representative of the CDS, ECOWAS ambassador here present, EU ambassador here present, all members of the diplomatic corps and chief of missions here present, heads of the WAPIS program here present, German technical assistant team here present, the Spanish technical assistant team here present, the representative of the Gambia Bar Association, representative of the civil society, media fraternity, the police band, other members of the security service here present, all protocols duly and respectfully observed. Good morning to all of you. First and foremost, I feel deeply honored to be part of this auspicious occasion and to deliver a statement on the historic inauguration of the Data Collection and Registration Center, DECORE project in the Gambia, which aims to enhance police operation and also serve as a platform for exchange of information, sharing of experience, and best practices. This new development demonstrates His Excellency, the President of the Republic of the Gambia, Mr. Adam Barrow's commitment and that of the government in ensuring maintenance of national, sub-regional, and global peace and security. The West African Police Information System, WAPIS, created in 2012, is an ECOWAS program funded by the European Union and implemented by the Interpol. The main objective of the WAPIS program is to increase the capacity of West African law enforcement authorities to combat transnational crime, terrorism, and other menaces through enhanced information sharing. Cognizant of this important project in enhancing regional peace and security, the government of the Gambia, through my ministry, adopted the project and signed an MOU in 2019, leading to the establishment of the Data Collection and Registration Center, which we are now inaugurating today. The government of Gambia, through my ministry, has rendered its full support and commitment towards the full implementation of this project right from the onset. DECORE project is fully operational. If fully operational, will promote the cordial and efficient working relationship between the law enforcement agencies and sister authorities in the ECOWAS region and beyond. At the national front, it will bring together all the security agencies, including the armed forces, working towards specific objectives. Furthermore, as technology is the fastest and most efficient way to curb international crime, this system will immensely enhance the efforts of security agencies to curb illicit trafficking activities, terrorism, infiltration of the drug trafficking network, proliferation of small arms and light weapons, among others, illicit threats to grave concern to individuals and countries within the region and beyond. Therefore, this project is very timely, as it will immensely boost the efforts of regional and global security cooperation amongst security services caused by threats from transnational organized criminal networks, including maritime-related crimes like piracy and other illicit activities at the sea off the coast of West Africa, and more extensively the Gulf of Guinea. The importance of this project to my ministry and by extension to the government of the Gambia cannot be overemphasized. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, once again, I would like to express government's, and in particular, my ministry's continuous support towards the full and sustainable implementation of the Gambia's DECORE project. I call on all personnel of all security services responsible for the implementation of the project to work collaboratively in achieving the desired objective of the project without discrimination or prejudice. To conclude, I wish to express our profound thanks to the EU, to the EU ambassador here present, ECOWAS, to the ECOWAS ambassador here present, and other partners who have made it possible for the Gambia's inclusion in this project. I would also like to thank all those who join us today in marking this great occasion. On that note, I hereby declare the ECOWAS project Gambia open and looking forward for its full implementation and sustainability. Thank you very much.
IG, myself, and then the legal expert from the Minister of Justice. That Kamara is representing that lady. What is the name?
Sosai.
Sunkar Kamara is here to represent the legal expert.
You have a pen?
And then there will be hello?
IG is the one who will do this.
Yes,
Interpol boss will do the presentation, right?
Yes. Okay. That is IG, Minister for Certificate. Started with IG. What Bella Ante spoke. Then
in justice,
legal expert. Then
IGP. Okay, certificate
for the minister. That is for the country. Huh?
Okay. So I'll tell you, sir. Sirif, organize that. The ECOWAS rep. I presentation to these people. I will make the announcement from here. So, one, no, I will kill them. I will present. All right.
The Honorable Minister of Interior has delivered the opening statement, that is the inaugural speech by the Honorable Minister of Interior. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, at this point in time, we will do a presentation of medals and a certificate, which will be followed by a visit to the WAPIS Center for a demonstration, and also that will be followed by refreshment at the end of the inaugural ceremony. At this point in time,
the legal experts.
Okay.
And then the certificate is for the minister. For the minister
to have contributed immensely towards the successful implementation of this project. And so we will have the Interpol Regional Director, Mr. Richard Godwin, to do the presentation, but you can stay there, they will find you there so that you present it to, first of all, to Deputy Commissioner of Police, Pate Jallo, who is the Pateba, who is the WAPIS coordinator for the Gambia Police Force. He will find you there. Yes.
Good afternoon once again. Here is the workstation of the newly inaugurated Dakore. This is where all the data entrance will be started from. And then from here, you have different officers from different units. You have police, immigration, drug squad, and then law enforcement. All sister forces are here. Then that's the office of the validator. The role of these data operators are to be collecting data and then inputting them into this system. The system is organized in such a way that it will customize our normal station diaries. We will collect these station diaries from the station and then input them into this. You create a case, you create an event, you create administrative documents. There is a column for all those things that can be captured in here, so that it will be easier for people to be able to search. And at the end of the day, there is a place where the system administrator will collect the statistics for the administrators or for the system management or the authorities to be able to make a better decision as what is going to be the next step ahead. So, can you all sit to your desktops? So from here, they are all having their personal files where they are entering into the system. One, you will scan the documents and then turn it into an electronic case file. Case files, yes. Station case file from the various police stations. So these are the data operators, and then this is the workstation here. Then from here you have the validator. Every station, this is the office of the validator. And that's CIP Barrow. Every station that these people enter here, every document they enter here are kept in a draft stage. It can be only validated and accessed to when they are validated. It can be only accessed when they are validated. So the role of the validator is to supervise these people, to see whatever they are doing has to be in line. It has to be a document that is not fake. It has to be a complete process document. So that's the role of the validator. Then from the validator's office, you have the office of the system admin. The role of the system admin is to make sure that the system keeps running 24 hours non-stop. So that any time the system is up and running, the system admin will come in place to see whether they have any internet problem or whether they have any objection to what they are doing. Because at the end of the day, there has to be other people outside who will search and then have access to the data. So the system admin will be all full time monitoring the system so that there will be no problem in terms of accessing the data. Then from the system admin, you have the office of the Dakar manager. This is the office of the Dakar manager. The Dakar is simply data collection.
Kela banku dingwatile jandiba nyimpengu wotala haninde imanya na kela banku dingwati purka nyimpengu wota bari isenyi ninkano ila ID card la na ya tarafanang imanya ID card soto